traders, Jeff here. I was going through my weekly watch list this morning, and I noticed that Netflix has been consolidating for quite a while. One of the ways that you can play a consolidating stock is with an iron condor. Now, even though it was on my weekly list, my intent, at least today, was not to do a weekly on this because when I looked at the prices, there just wasn't any money in them. And I didn't, I thought, well, maybe I don't want to wait until the next June 3rd or June 4th weeklies open up. Let's just go right out to July and take a look and see if we can collect enough premium to justify the additional risk of possibly going 2 or 3 weeks on this, or maybe 4 weeks. So we'll go back to the Analyze tab here, and let's just pretend that I hadn't made my decision yet. And we'll look at the trades here for, this would be the weeklies for this week. And you can see there's no money in them. You know, even if you would have to go practically to at the money to get a decent delta. And I usually like to play with deltas between 20 and 30 for my credit spreads and iron condors. And this is just way too close, way too risky in my mind. So I thought, let's go out to July. And that's what I did. And so where in July do I go? Well, let's look at least the way that it is right now. If I was to stick around with the 23 delta, I would be at a 72.50 strike. And you know, remember that this was this morning too, so things have changed a little bit. And if I was to look at a delta, well, I'd be at 55 here, which is actually where I'm at. So as of this afternoon anyway, things have changed a little bit, but I locked in my prices this morning on my test trade here. This is not an actual trade, this is a test trade. And that's where I ended up. So how did I do that? I thought, well, let's look at it a different way. When I opened up the risk profile, as I see it here, and we're going to be looking at July, right? So let's move our theoretical pricing model here to July. Okay, so when I got out to July, I thought, well, 10%, that's kind of tight too. Based on what I see on the chart, it could probably move 10% pretty easily over the next 3 weeks or so. So I decided to change it to 15%, and you can do that by clicking on Set Slices and minus 15 plus 15. All right, that looked a little bit better. The way that it looked this morning when I did that is right here. This is this morning, and this is where 15% was at. 53, 55, and 72, 45. And that was okay with me, so I picked these strikes that you can see down below. I picked the 55, we'll turn it on, and I picked the 70, and we'll turn that one on. So even though this deviation, one standard deviation shown here at 84 and at 66, no wait, I'm sorry, at 51 and 74, one standard deviation, I wasn't worried about that. What I wanted to do was to collect theta, was to get a high theta and start collecting. So this particular trade, as of right now, has a theta of $2.75, meaning that this trade would collect, if the price stayed where it is right now, it would collect $2.76. I locked in those prices from this morning, $1.04, $1.12, and we are sitting at a plus $15 as of this afternoon. I'm not going to hang on to this for very long, possibly, let's say 3 weeks. So let's go 3 weeks out here. That would bring us to the first Tuesday in July. So theoretically, in between here, if we stayed right at this price, we'd be up $100. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, like $80 to $100 off of this trade. The other thing that I would do is I would go back here and reset my slices to 10%. And I would say if this stock moves 10% either way, I'm going to have to make a decision to possibly exit one end of this trade. I would just exit one leg probably. So I would set an alert at 56 and set an alert at 69 to come back and take a look at this. Otherwise, I would just sit back and count my couple $3 a day. And that's how I would treat this. Let me reset this parameter back. And that's the little 5-minute trade idea for today. You know, if you look at this chart, I set these slices at 15% slices to the chart here. 15% up, 15% down. And if you look at the chart, the way that it's acting today, you could probably enter this trade tomorrow or the next day too. You may need to tweak your strike prices a little bit for the 15%, but it's definitely a doable trade. It's just not going anywhere, so let's go out there and collect some premium. Thanks for your time. Happy trading.